Hi Flosstube, I'm Rachel, stitch.rach here on Flosstube and on Instagram. It's Wednesday the 5th of July and this is my YouTube channel about cross stitch. Hi everyone, it's been a minute again, hasn't it? I seem to be getting worse at keeping to a filming schedule rather than better. Anyway, very big welcome. Thank you for bearing with me and coming back if you are one of my regular viewers, and a very big welcome if it's your first time here. I do try and record every 2 weeks, but recently I seem to be falling right off that wagon. So I had to go back and check when I actually last filmed, and it was the 6th of June. So it's been basically a whole month since I came and said hi to you all. And obviously it being the 5th of July today, very happy 4th of July for yesterday to any Americans watching. We don't celebrate it here. It was just Tuesday. But I hope you had a good time doing whatever you were doing if you were over there. Why has it been so long? There's just been quite a lot going on. I seem to say that every time, and I'm sure you all think, gosh, she doesn't have like a proper job. She's just at home with her kids. But it's getting to that time of year where I'm at school constantly. When I was meant to record 2 weeks ago, I actually attended 3 sports days that week for my children. So there just wasn't time, and since then I've been to a school concert. My eldest is in year 5, which is, for those of you that aren't from the UK, that's the penultimate year of primary school. So next year will be her final year of primary school. So we've been going to some high school open days to start having a bit of a look at what her options are for kind of a year from now, where she'll be heading off to. So that's all been quite exciting. And she's also on her first school residential this week. I have to go and pick her up in a couple of hours. And in fact, it's quite good I've done this here, because obviously being a month, I've got so much stuff. But I have to leave to pick my other 2 children up in 50 minutes. So at least you know there's an end point. There will definitely be an end point. As well as all that, I've been trying to get the garden in shape because my veg patch has really suffered this year. It's not going to be a stellar year, but it's finally starting to look okay. And then it must have been the same week as the sports days, perhaps. Anyway, I decided that I needed to get in shape. I don't know if this is the looming of the start of my 5th decade or what, and I'm bothered about becoming 40, I'm not, but you're suddenly like, God, I might be halfway through here. It's a bit morbid, but I might be halfway through. So, and while I don't think I'm overweight, I was perhaps a little bit heavier than I've sometimes been in the past, but I'm certainly not, no one would look at me and think I was overweight, but I was very aware I wasn't very fit. So I decided I needed to get fit. So I've been taking the dog on longer walks, so Stan's starting to look a bit leaner as well, which the vet told me he needed. And I've also started going to some classes, because I'm not very good at the self-motivation. Like, I like watch a Pilates video on YouTube and I'm like, that's nearly as good as doing it. So I'm very bad at stuff like that. So I've started to go to 2 high-intensity interval training sessions a week and a Pilates training session. It's actually starting to really, I'm starting to really feel the benefits. So that's exciting. I hope I'll be able to keep it up. But one of my children breaks up for summer on Friday, this coming Friday. And then my other 2 have 2 more weeks and then it's the summer holidays. So I suspect I'll have to drop it off a bit then. God knows what happened to the recording schedule of Flosstube. But bear with me over the next 8 weeks. You're very good at bearing with me anyway, so, and I do appreciate it, because I know I'm not the most regular recorder out there. So that's been kind of what's going on in my life in a very high level overview. I am kind of looking forward to the kids breaking up now. It's in that nice kind of anticipatory stage before you get to the end of August when you're like, they just need to go back to school. So yeah, I think we're all looking forward to just having a bit of time together and a bit of time relaxing. Although having said that, my eldest, we live in a part of the country that still have grammar schools, and she will be taking the 11 plus in September. So there will be some work over the summer. But we'll see how that goes. It will be fine. It will all be fine. We'll all be fine. Anyway, you're not here for the general witter, are you? You're here for the stitching, I hope. I hope. Although I was watching Ros Clark Craft the other day. Ros Clark Crafts the other day. I really enjoy watching Ros, and she doesn't have nearly as many subscribers as she deserves. So I suggest you go over and watch Ros and subscribe to her channel. But she was saying she watches a lot of Flosstube where people don't stitch stuff that she necessarily would stitch herself, and she just likes hanging out with them. And I know absolutely what she means. I definitely watch quite a bit of Flosstube where I don't necessarily want to stitch the same things as the people filming, but I just like hanging out with them. So yeah, I have kind of fallen off watching Flosstube again. I kind of go like this with it. It depends what I'm doing, depends what life is, because there's been a lot of being out of the house and going to exercise classes and sports days and summer concerts. Yes, we had a summer concert, Squeaky Violins, you know how much I love them, and dog walking and being in the garden. Then kind of YouTube, Flosstube just kind of falls off my radar a bit. But I have watched a little bit, so I've watched Crafting Kirsty's latest, I've watched some Ros Clark Crafts, I've watched some Charlie Feathers, I've watched Stitchy Sally, I've watched Ellie Welly Stitcher, and I've just started watching Elaine's Whip Parade. So go have, I love a mid-year Whip Parade. You're not going to get one from me, I'm afraid, but I do love watching them. So Ellie Welly Stitcher's got a mid-year Whip Parade up, and Jessie Marie does stuff. I saw that one dropped this morning, a mid-year Whip Parade. So if you love a Whip Parade as much as I do, there's some things to go and check out. Right, what stitching have I been doing? Well, I have a finish. I see I'm on a bit of a finish roll, and actually even if I'd filmed 2 weeks ago when I was meant to, I would still have had this finish to show you. So I am on kind of a finish roll. I have 3 whips. I have a knitting finish. Well, a knitting FFO actually. Yeah, look at me, look at me. I have a knitting whip. I've got a very little bit of haul, not a lot of haul at all. I haven't been doing much buying lately. It's not something like I've set myself. I haven't felt the need, maybe because I haven't been watching much Flosstube. But yeah, anyway, I haven't really been doing much purchasing. I think I'm more in kind of whip down, kit up what you've got mode, and I have quite a big stash of fabric and thread. So often if I want to kit something up, not that I've started anything recently, I often don't have to buy very much. So which is quite a nice place to be in. It's quite a nice place to be in. Although it does mean my husband's a bit like, what's this cupboard full of fabric? And I have told him if I happen to die in an untimely manner, just check with one of you guys before he sells anything for what he thinks it might be worth. Just check. Right. Shall we start with my finish? So, I think we all knew this would be a finish next time you saw me, the last time I filmed. But I have finished, I haven't ironed her, but I have finished Jane Marshall, 1857 I think. In the end, I did just go for stitching what was charted, so I did just stitch Jane Marshall in the middle. Partly just because I couldn't really be faffed recharting anything. I was just in a bit of a lazy mood. But I'm really pleased. I really like her. So this is Hands Across the Sea samplers. It's available on their website. I think it's what they call one of their little gem charts. It's a PDF download. I stitched it on 36 count clotted cream linen from Foxglove and Lace Linens. I haven't seen them sell any linens recently, so I don't know what's going on there. So I've just seen a stray thread on the back. Oh, I've seen a thread I haven't clipped on the back. Actually, a thread in a big knot I haven't clipped on the back. Ugh, I hate that. Oh, I hate big knot. Oh, I'm going to have to look at that. I've suddenly looked at the back, and that is very unlike me to miss something like that, actually, because it usually drives me potty. But can you see there? This is the back of my stitching. I do like a neat back, so that's the front. That's the back. But here on the M of Marshall, you see, there's like a knot that I've missed and a big lump of thread. So I will go and I will clip that, and then I will weave the ends in so it doesn't come undone. But I can't, that is going to drive me up the wall, that is. It really, oh, I can't bear that. Oh. Anyway, apart from this massive knot on the back that I will have to sort out later, she is finished and I am very pleased. I did not use the charted colours, but they are very similar to what was charted. I did my own conversion into colour and cotton and classic colourworks, and if anyone wants that conversion, just message me. I'd be very happy to share it with you. But yes, I'm really, really pleased with her. So that was the first thing I finished since last time I saw you, and I think I finished that kind of mid-June-ish. Mid-June. So I think that was number 5 finish for the year. Let me check. I have it on my Instagram. I have a little reel of finishes on my Instagram, so if you want to see how many. Yes, that was finish number 5 for the year. So we are getting through them. We are getting through them. Hurrah. Shall I put Jane up here like I did with Peacock? I mean, she won't show up as well because she's much more kind of much more pastel-y kind of colourway. But there was a needle on that coaster and I just knocked it off. Can you see that? Maybe. So yes, so that was my first finish. And it's in this project bag of other finishes that need things to happen to them. I think I've got 3 others in there. Ooh. Yeah, I must get on to doing some FFOing. That would be fab. So, after I finished Jane, I didn't really know what I fancied stitching on. So I now shared with you a list of 10 things I want to have finished before the end of the year. Sorry, itchy nose. Which I still want to. And Jane was one of those things. So I am making progress through it. But I don't really feel like stitching any of those things. And I have a massive, not massive, but I have a box. It's, you know, a box that fits into an IKEA Kallax unit. I have one of those with all my whips in, and they're all kind of stood up on their ends. And I thought I will just go and pick one at random and let fate decide what I stitched on. So I did, and as I went into the room, there was one just slightly stuck up out of the box, and it was just in an ordinary cheapy plastic, like one of these project bag. So I didn't know what it was. I just grabbed it and I thought I'll stitch on whatever this is. And what was whatever this is? Whatever this is now in a different project bag as well. I put it in the project bag Jane was in because I thought it deserved a better project bag. This is the House of Stitch and Stash project bag. It's very nice. It's vinyl fronted. I'll show you in a second. Yeah, vinyl fronted. And this is Strawberry Sampler. Now, if you have been with me a very long time, you will know that this was a birthday start one year. And I think it was a birthday start in 2020. I'm just going to check that on my Instagram. So I should check this. I've made no notes. This could be an absolute horror show today because I haven't done one of these for ages, and that usually means they end up being a complete and utter horror show. So, you know, because you watching me scroll my phone is not massively exciting YouTube, is it? Sorry. But I just want to check, although this is going extremely slowly, I'm still in 2022. Sorry. Instagram is not going fast at all. Talk amongst yourselves. No, don't. Anyway, so this was a birthday start one year, and I want to say it was a birthday start in 2020. I feel like it was. Anyway, this started as Sue from Peakside Needleworks did a sal. And so she picked the chart. I think she put on her Facebook group, would anyone be interested in a sal? And I was like, yes, me. And she picked the chart and then she kitted it up and provided the fabric to do, because there's 3 patterns in here. So there's the main sampler, there's the drum, and there's a needle book. So she provided you with enough fabric to do the main sampler. And I think it started like at the end of July or August or something. And so I thought I will leave that to be my... It was near enough to my birthday that it wasn't weird for me to leave it as a birthday start. Yeah, it was 2020. There you go. That was worth waiting for, wasn't it? So she did that. And there's a Facebook group for those of us that participate. Don't like go and try and find it, because it was for those of us that participated in a sal that was like 3 years ago. Anyway, I suppose you could if you're desperate to have a look at it. But so this was what I randomly pulled out of my box, and I hadn't really worked at all on it. I think I'd done... Oh, my phone's buzzing now. That's the parents all getting excited. Their kids are coming back from residential. I think I'd done that top line of strawberries and 1, maybe 2 lines of that. No, 1 line of that alphabet at the top. Right, so I was hardly any way through it at all. I don't think I got any stitching last year, and I'm not entirely sure I got any stitching in 2021 either. So, as I say, it's just been left for ages and ages. So I went onto the Facebook group and I was like, is anyone still stitching this, or is it just me? Anyway, loads of people were still stitching it, and some people hadn't even started it, which made me feel a lot. I mean, there's some people that have finished. There's some people that are really nearly finished, actually. And I think I encouraged a few people to get it back out and to stitch on it a bit with me. So I did. I got it out and I stitched on it a bit. And this is where I am. So I've completed that top alphabet and the number line. And I've come down to the big alphabet. Now, this line, this green border line, they are all... I'll set the camera up a bit further away from you today. I'm going to have to budge up towards you. These are all Smyrnas. Can you see this green line? There you go. And then the big alphabet is an eyelet alphabet. Now, I have done Smyrnas before, but I had never done eyelets before. And I am pretty pleased with how they are looking. Pretty pleased. They do take a little while. They do take up quite a bit of thread, but I am very pleased with that, and I really enjoyed stitching on it. So this is on 40 count light mocha, and I know I was saying the other week, and it's 1/2. I know I was saying the other week, oh, I'm not feeling the 40 count. I actually really enjoyed this. I don't know if it's because it's just as wide got and hasn't been over dyed, and therefore it's not as tight as some of the over dyeds go. Because I have a lot of pictures this plus 40. It's really tight. It's really tight. But this was alright, and yeah, I quite enjoyed it. So yeah, Sue, I think she gave you a choice of counts. So I think I picked 40. But I think everyone got the light mocha, which isn't the called for. The called for is legacy, but obviously in like autumn 2020 she wasn't going to get hands on enough legacy. And then she kitted it up in, so it's charted in NPI weeks or DMC, and she kitted it up with the DMC weeks colourway, which is this. She gave us a nice little floss ring that had a strawberry. Can you see that? Because it's a strawberry sampler. Is it going to focus on that? Hold on. Ugh. Told you this is going to be a horror show. Cannot make my hand bend the right way today. Right, there we go. Let's try that. You see that? There you go. There's a strawberry, and we also got that kind of peakside fob. And then she also put in the kit when we got it all those years ago, a scissor fob, a strawberry scissor fob. The scissors were already mine. So yeah, I really enjoyed stitching on that. It was nice to kind of pull out something I wasn't thinking of stitching on and just stitch on it a bit. There's still a long way to go because there's a whole Quaker Alphabet, and I have put it away for the time being, but I did really enjoy stitching on it, and I very much hope if you're watching it and you're part of that Peakside Stitch Along from years ago and you've still got some left to do, very much hope you will join me on that and get it back out and put some stitches in. So that was that. So I really enjoyed stitching on that. And then put that away. Well, I didn't actually. I've only just taken that off the frame now to come to film because I don't want to lug the whole Millennium frame upstairs. I had loosened the tension, don't worry, it hasn't been sitting tight on my Millennium frame. But I just fancied a change. I stitched on it for about 10 days. So about the last week of June, I think. And then I just thought, I want to get another one of those finishes done. So I pulled out this, which might give you a bit of a clue as to what's in here. This is the Penelopes Pocket project bag. Absolutely love this. So if you follow Penelopes Pocket on Instagram, Sarah often gives sneak peeks of the fabrics that are upcoming that she's about to make bags of. And when I saw this one, I was like, I have to have that bag, I have to have. I messaged her, I'm like, that is amazing, I have to have that bag. And I was on holiday in Scotland at the time. We were in the Outer Hebrides, and she messaged me and she's like, they've just gone up and they're selling fast. And I think they all sold out the day she put them up. And on this like remote road in the Outer Hebrides, or maybe we just got back to the mainland, maybe we'd just taken the ferry back to the mainland, but we were like in the middle of nowhere in Scotland. And so the internet signal coming in and out, I was on my phone in the car while my husband was driving trying to buy a bag. Anyway, I got one. And in it I keep my animal stacks from Plum Street. So this is the first one I've done. I have loads of these. I don't have them all, there are a few that I'm not massively keen on, but I have most of them. And the first one I did is Snort Stack, and I would like to have a whole set of these eventually. And this is where it is. So I have now finished the 3 pigs. So I've really only got the hill to do and finish the border and the flowers around them. Really love it. I absolutely love pigs. They're awesome. They are awesome. And when I started this, my plan was to have them individually framed, but it's going to be like really tiny because this is 40 count as well. So now I'm wondering if I should just actually do them as a big piece. Let me know what you think. Would you do them as one big piece, or would you separately frame them? I don't know. I'm going to think that over, but if you have an opinion, let me know. This is on a piece of 40 count that I tea coffee dyed myself. I wanted it to be quite mottled, so I'm pleased. I know that's not everyone's cup of tea, but for this, that is how I wanted it. I love the fact it looks like it has been baked in the oven. It looks like it's been baked in the oven. Yeah, I'm doing it in all the called for, which are a mixture of Weeks Dye Works and Classic Colourworks. I would say, and this shows the difference, I don't know if it's the photography or the dye lots or both, but if you look at that pig at the bottom, the big pig at the bottom, and look at his colour, and then look at my colour, it's not quite the same. So I like mine, I'm not mad about it, but it's not quite the same. And that's a Weeks Dye Works. And then look at the little pig on the top. You see he's got stripes down him? And then look at my little pig. He does have stripes, but they're really hard to see, and it's because my Weeks Dye Works Flatfish which is meant to be the colour of the main, what is the colour of the big pig. Let me find them. And my Weeks Dye Works bark are really similar. Are really, really similar. And you can't really in person see a huge amount of difference between them. So there you go. Can you see how similar they are? So the flat fish is on the top and the bark is on the bottom. I mean, there is a very, very slight difference, but I think some dye lots you probably get more of a difference than my two happen to be. So I think it's always worth checking when you buy your threads and just put them next to each other and say, is that going to be worth it? Am I going to see that difference? Because I mean, you can there, but honestly, when they're next to each other on your stitching, it's very difficult to tell, particularly 1/2. I think maybe if it was like on 32 count 2/2, you'd see more of a difference, but 1/2 on 40 count, I'm not seeing a difference. And then I can't remember if I bought all these threads for this chart or if I had some of them in my stash already, but again, it's a good case in point of what's gonna make impact, because this pink, which is Weeks Dye Works Cinnabar, definitely got some Cinnabar in my stash, so it might just come out of stash. And this yellow, Classic Colourworks Queen Bee, and the white, which is Weeks Dye Works Whitewash, you may as well just use the DMC. So the pink is literally used for the insides of the ears and the nose tips, if you can even see that. The yellow is only used in this bee here. And the whitewash is literally used for the whites of the pig's eyes. This white around the diamonds is parchment, not whitewash. So I would say to you, when you have a look at your chart and work out how many stitches you're going to have from the overdyed, because it's not worth buying a skein of overdyed if there's literally 6 stitches. Okay? That would be my advice. Do what you want, but that would be my advice. So yeah, so I think by next time I see you, whenever that is, I will try and record in 2 weeks. I always intend to. Just, you know, road to hell is paved with and all that. This should be a finish. I'm hoping it'll be a finish this weekend, although I have another busy weekend this weekend. My sister's coming tomorrow, which means the mess of the spare room is slowly being tidied. Because she's going to need it. And she wasn't meant to come. We only decided she was coming 2 weeks ago, because 3 weeks ago, because I suddenly had a massive panic and needed some childcare. And my very kind sister, who doesn't have children of her own yet, this is all coming back to me one day, dropped her weekend plans and said she'd come and help me out, which was really kind of her, because we are going out to a concert with some friends on Saturday. We booked this concert in like January, or maybe even like November, December last year. It's been booked forever. And so we made this plan to go to this concert, but I didn't buy the tickets. My friend did. And that's where the whole thing falls down. I didn't write it down and then just completely forgot all about it. Just completely forgot. So me and my husband went to go with her and her husband, and it's like one of those like concerts in the park, like take a picnic, yada yada. So, you know, got to be there at like 3 and it goes till late. So it's not, you know, I can't just ask one of the kids from next door to come and, you know, make their dinner and put them to bed and the whole. So I was like, oh God, I need someone that can actually cope with my 3 kids for that length of time. Not my kids are horror shows, but it's just a lot to ask when you have young kids. You know, for someone to come and entertain them and feed them and put them to bed. So anyway, I'd forgotten all about it. And my friend kept saying, oh, I'm really looking forward to going to this concert. Like all the time. She was saying it all the time, like messages like, yeah, I'm really going to let my hair down at this concert. Oh, I'm feeling really stressed, but you know, like the thought of this concert. And I was like, okay, I get it, you're going to this concert. And I'm like, it's getting a bit rude. I mean, she keeps talking about this concert, like to the extent I was like, this is now quite rude. So I know this friend because her daughter is friends with my daughter. That's how we first met. But definitely moved into not just my daughter's friends' parents. Definitely friends now. Anyway, so I was collecting my daughter from their house a few weeks ago, and I was speaking to her husband. And on Saturday, it's actually speech day at my daughter's school. So Saturday morning, I've got to get, and it's not just you can rock up in your jeans. It's like proper suited and booted. I've got to find a dress and heels and full face makeup, all the stuff. And usually after that, we all get together afterwards and have a barbecue and hang out. And so we're talking about speech day and what a pain it is to have to go in on a Saturday and listen to all the speeches, and your kid might not even win anything. That's the kicker. They won't tell you if your kid's going to win anything. So you can go and sit there for 2 hours, like dressed in your finest in a really stuffy school hall, and then they don't win anything. But it is what it is. So we were talking about that, and I said, oh, and we can't do our usual barbecue later that day because you're going to the concert. And he was like, we're going with you. And I was like, are you? And he was like, we think so. And I was like, oh. And then, and it like slowly starts coming back to you. And I was like, that's why she keeps going on about this concert. And I was like, oh, you absolute muppet. Anyway, so then, with 3 weeks to go, having had like 9 months to sort it out, I had to find like substantial childcare. So I was like, oh, sister, please help. Anyway, she's an amazing sister and she is helping. So she's coming down tomorrow to bail me out on my own rubbish organisational ability. So I'm looking forward to seeing her. And I'm looking forward to going to the concert. I'm looking forward to my daughter finishing school. Less looking forward to speech day. But she is singing in the choir, so even if she doesn't win anything, I will get to see her. So yeah, a long way of saying hopefully that will get finished this weekend, but maybe not because guests and concerts and speech days and yada yada. There you go, little insight into how my mind does not work. Right, pop that away. And I've just got one more whip to show you how we're doing on time. 20 minutes. I know you've been with me more than 20 minutes. I've got 20 minutes. Thank you for sticking with me and my ramblings this long. So the last one is my out and about project. Those of you that have been here before will know that I spend a lot of my time waiting around after children and I take stitching with me, and this is what I have been taking for the majority of this year. And it is Seize the Day by Caterpillar Cross Stitch, which again I started as a sow in 2019 and have not finished yet. But I am getting closer. I am edging closer and closer to... Oh God, there's someone at the door. Bear with me, they're knocking the door to bits. Sorry about that, that was just the postman. Our normal postman is on holiday or they're changing rounds or something. We seem to have had a lot of changes in our postman recently. And I don't know, just like knocked on the door so hard. I don't know if you clocked, but my super placid Labrador that had his nice long work didn't even lift an eyelid. He was just like never get a Labrador as a guard dog. Having said that, my brother-in-law's Labrador barks really loudly if you even enter their drive, and mine just like doesn't at all. The only people he barks at are the window cleaner. He really doesn't like our window cleaner. I don't know why, because our window cleaner really likes him. And then I have a friend that's really scared of dogs, and he always barks at her. And that's about it. They're the only people he barks at. I was waiting. My husband got home really late one night, had a work event, so he was coming home on a really late train. And so I was in the sitting room with the dog, which is like, we have quite a long hall, and the sitting room's at one end of the hall. And the door we used to come in, which actually technically the back door, is at the other end of the hall. And so this car comes onto the drive, and bear in mind this must have been like 11 o'clock at night, and we have a gravel drive, so you can hear stuff coming onto the drive. So the car comes onto the drive and the dog's like, doesn't bark. I knew it was my husband, so I wasn't worried. And then I can hear my husband walking along the gravel path at the back of the house, and the dog kind of walks towards the sitting room door that was closed. As I hear the back door open, my husband comes in, and the dog's just like, he's got his nose up against the sitting room door, but it's not gonna bark. And then my husband opens the sitting room door, and the dog like jumps backwards. I'm like, you are the worst guard dog ever. I mean, I love him to bits, but honestly, in the guarding stakes, utterly useless. And do you know what? When he does woof, I mean, obviously he's a Labrador, so he's soft as anything, and anyone who isn't scared of dogs is never going to be scared of him. But he's a big dog, and he's big for a Labrador. And when he does woof, he's got a really good woof at. Oh, the other person he woofs at is the next door neighbour when they're on their own land. That's great, isn't it? He's got a lovely big woof, he just won't deploy it. Anyway, I suppose I should be glad he's not woofing all night, but still. So anyway, back to Seize the Day, which I think I said I started as a Sal in 2019. And here's where I've got to. So I am really plugging along. I've got down to that mermaid at the bottom. I've got to do the plane in the sky, but otherwise the sky's done. I haven't done the signpost yet because I want to put the year in. And I am very hopeful of finishing this year now, but I don't want to get cocky. Because I bet if I stitch in 2023, then I won't make it. So I'm just leaving that for now. But that's where I am. This is stitched on 32 count. I think it's called Gold Rush by Crafty Kitten. And it's all the called for DMC. Now, do you want to hear my dilemma about this? As I said, I did this as a Sal. It's a mystery Sal. And I think it was released in 9 parts. And I have part 8. And I haven't got part 9. I haven't got part 9. I can't find it. Can't find it at all. I've gone through all my emails, and I must have deleted the email, and I haven't saved it to my cloud or my hard drive or anywhere. It's not there. So I'm missing the very last part, which I think is basically this chest here and this anchor. Is it too cheeky to email Caterpillar Cross Stitch and say, is there any chance you could send me the last part? This is like 4 years old. Is that like way too cheeky? Do I just have to bite the bullet and buy it again? What do you think? What do you think? Is it too cheeky to say, please can you send me the missing bit of the chart that I was clearly too much of a muppet to save properly 4 years ago? Oh. I'm going to have to make a call soon because there's not that much to go before I hit those bits, really. There's like the big fish, big pink fish, and a bit of seaweed in the bottom of the sea and the aeroplane. But that's all I can do without getting in touch with them. So let me know, is it too cheeky for words after 4 years? Yeah, so that's my dilemma with that one. But I'll get there one way. If I have to buy it again, I have to buy it again. I'm just cross with myself, really. So that's that. So they're all my whips that I have worked on. One other tiny bit of stitching I've done since I last saw you. So when I last saw you, I showed you my finish of Quaker Alphabet, which actually is one of the unfinished, un-FFO'd whips in here. So let me remind you of what Quaker Alphabet looks like. There we go. It's my finish of Quaker Alphabet by La-di-da. And I was saying, because I'd use sulky to stitch this, I used 1 strand of sulky on 36 count. I wasn't entirely sure how to mark it on my Elsie. For those of you that haven't seen an Elsie, this is an Elsie. They're a kind of add-on product by Penelopes Pocket. They're really kind of a thread keep and needle minder. And then the outside is Vintage Country Mocha, 32 count. And I'm using mine to kind of make a recording of things I've stitched. It's like a little collage of my stitching. And I couldn't work out because I'd used sulky, and obviously you have to start and finish on the front, how to do it. And thank you to all of you that made the very obvious point that I just needed to use an away waist knot. Which obviously I just needed to use an away waist knot. So I have, and I have now recorded Quaker Alphabet on my Elsie, which is slowly filling up. slowly filling up. So if you want one of those, you can head over to Penelopes Pocket. I think you have to buy one with a project bag. I don't think you can just buy them on their own, but go and find out. Go and find out. I love mine. Right, on that note, shall we... Oh, what have I done on my phone? I have put my phone down somewhere, and my phone has the answer to who won the giveaway. Ah, it's fallen down the side of the chair. It's fine, it's here. So, having finished Quaker Alphabet, I wanted to pass on the chart, and actually the chart was passed to me by Sarah of Penelopes Pocket, and she agreed I could pass it on again. And this morning I did a random comment picker on my last YouTube video, and the winner is Anne Appleish. I hope that's how you say it, Anne Appleish. So Anne, if you're watching, if you can please, I will comment on your comment, but if you can please drop me a line either on Instagram, if you use Instagram, stitch.rach, or I will include my email address in the description box below, and you can drop me an email and I will get this sent out to you. Lovely. Right. Should we do some knitting? So, if you don't want to stay for the knitting, I'll see you later. There isn't much, but thank you for dropping by and seeing my stitching. I have been a bit kind of waffly today, haven't I? More than usual, but thanks for sticking with it. Right, here we go. I FFO'd my, well, they're not mine, they're my daughter's, Glory Whisk Warmers, hurrah! So really pleased with those. This is the second time I've knitted this. The first time I knitted it was for me, as this is the second set because she said she wanted them. I actually went down a needle size because I'm quite a loose knitter, and last time I knitted them with the called for needle size and they were fine, but I thought they'd be better if I went down a size, and I think they are. The only thing is, I was really playing yarn chicken at the end, and so the cast off I hardly had any wool left. I should have probably stopped a row before, but I hardly had any yarn left, and so I was having to pull the cast on quite tight to get it done. And so the top of this one is actually a lot tighter than that one. I think for her little hands it won't be a problem. Actually, it keeps it in place quite nicely, such a tight cast off, but it's not ideal. But that's just because I didn't leave myself enough wiggle room. But yeah, so really pleased with those. She's really pleased with those. Obviously very seasonal, she's wearing them all the time. But anyway, they're ready for winter now. So I got an FFO, and then instead of casting on something else, I thought I should actually work on one of the knitting projects I have. And so this was, I think, a kit I started last year. It's a We Are Knitters kit, and it's a cardigan. It's really basic cardigan. There's no kind of shaping. You knit it in pieces, so the back, 2 front pieces and 2 sleeves. So I suppose there's a bit of shaping on the sleeves because they're kind of tapered, but the back and the front are just straight, and then you just seam it all together. I thought it'd be nice and easy because it was the first time I knitted like a big garment. I just got I didn't get the full kit from them. I got the yarn and the pattern. I got the needles myself. And so it's in there cotton, We Are Knitters cotton yarn. It's 100% cotton. It's in this navy blue colour. And I hadn't got very far with it at all, but I have now got, it's meant to be quite an open, she says. I think it's meant to be quite an open kind of fabric. So I think you are meant to be able to see those kind of holes in. But I'm kind of a third of the way up. This is the back. A third of the way up the back now. And I have made some alterations because they had like a model in a really oversized one with like long sleeves. And it said, oh, she's wearing like an extra large size. And when I looked at it, if you knitted it like to your measurements, the sleeves were kind of 3/4 length sleeves or something. And I was like, and it was a much shorter cardigan. So I've kind of gone halfway house. So I'm doing the width for my quite small frame, because I was like, I don't want a cardigan that's like constantly falling off me. So I've done the width for my quite small frame, but I've done the length and the sleeve length for the bigger size. So we'll see how it works out. I ordered enough yarn for the bigger size, so I'll probably have quite a bit left over, but I didn't want to run out. And I knew if I only ordered the right amount for the small size, which is what I needed, I would run out. So yeah, I'm about 1/4 of the way up now. It is literally just the garter stitch where you knit front and back. So there's a bit of rib at the bottom, but there's no real purling. All this is just knit front and back. So, and yeah, it is quite an open, but it's like a summer cardigan really. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. I think my tension is a bit up and down and all over the place, but it's the first time I've knitted a garment. So even if it's only suitable for the garden, then, you know, that'll be great. That'll be great. You should go and see Crafty Kirsty has finished her first jumper. As I was saying, Crafty Kirsty's going to look like a right Bobby Dazzler. If you know, you know. Right, very quickly, because I've now got like 3 minutes and I've got some haul, not a lot of haul, and then I'm going to go. Someone's messaging me. I don't know who it is. So I have joined the Patchwork Rabbit Fabric of the Month Club. I don't know if there are still spots in it or not, but I have gone for a 36 count fat quarter. And it's a fibre on the whim club. I've just had the invoice for my second month, but the first month we got Affragata. Just that, which is really nice neutral, so I will look forward to finding something to put on that when I'm in the mood for a new start again. Still not in the mood for new starts. Still not feeling it. So I got that fabric. I got my Lakeside Needlecraft, thread club, which is the classic Colourworks club. So these are the ones that came this month, very bright selection, and I'm kind of on the P's and Q's now. P's, Q's and R's. So I'm getting there, I'm getting towards the end of the alphabet. And I think when I finish the alphabet, I'm going to move on to the Weeks Dye Works club. So yeah, not long to go on the classic Colourworks club now. And then I got my Yarn of the Month club from Skein and the Stitch. This was the June club, which was the Impressionist club. There you go. And in this I get, this is not a club you have to join, by the way. This, every month she posts the listing for this on her website for I think the first week. So you can buy this every month and you don't need to opt out, you just don't buy it if you don't want it that month. And I have been getting a mini sock skein and a full DK skein, and this is what they look like this month. I love those. Love, love, love those. It's got those, and I also got, she also does a Candle of the Month club that I quite fancied this month. This is, they'll come in this tin. They're soy candles, I think, and it's called Lavender Sea. I wish she had smell-o-vision. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the lid up, because it smells amazing. It's really, it's not as lavendery as I thought it'd be. It's really fresh, but look, it's beautiful. Look how beautiful that is. So yeah, really enjoyed that. And that is all I have today. So thank you for stopping by. Sorry it's been a bit broken up and a bit all over the shop. Sorry it's been so long. I will try and be back in 2 weeks, that's the plan. I don't think I've made 2 weeks this year at all. So, but as always, I appreciate you coming and hanging out with me and having a look at my stitching and knitting. And I will see you all soonish. See you later, Stitchers. Bye.